working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Well, here in Kern County, another person has died due to the It's time. We have no further information about that person who has died. The first death was a woman from Delano. That now makes 2. And 176 people have now tested positive for COVID-19. That's nearly a 60-case jump from this time yesterday. More than 2,400 people have tested negative, and more than 1,600 people are waiting to get their results. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom is streaming live every day at noon to give us an update on the coronavirus crisis in our state. Today, he's talking about measures to protect homelessness in California. Let's take a listen in.
The announcement today is an announcement that is very near and dear not only to me, but Mayor Steinberg, who's here, Karen Larson, who's from the county. It's around the issue of homelessness. Now, we are at a facility here in the Sacramento area that currently has 30 individuals that were out on the streets and encampments that were brought into this hotel/motel just recently to get them off the street, to begin the process of basically let me back up. To basically decompress, but moreover to address the real vulnerabilities of homelessness in this state and the issues of COVID-19 as it relates to the impact on the homeless population throughout the state. This has been a point of real concern for all of us for a number of months, a top priority since the COVID crisis began to manifest. And we're very pleased today with the partnership that we have with FEMA, the partnerships we have with counties up and down the state of California, that we've identified roughly 7,000 hotel rooms that are now in our possession, where we have occupancy agreements. And we are now building partnerships throughout the state of California to begin to get folks into these sites. Some 6,867 hotel rooms, to be exact, now are in our possession, on the way to getting 15,000 in the phase 1 of our efforts. FEMA, remarkably, and to their credit, have created a template, first in the nation, in partnership with the state of California, where FEMA is providing 75% reimbursements for this project. This is first in the nation. Their support is profoundly significant to address this crisis head on. It's all around making sure that we address the most vulnerable Californians with the kind of acuity and focus that is required at this moment.
From Governor Gavin Newsom, who is talking about the COVID-19 crisis in our state, and he is focusing today on the homelessness here in California. And you can continue watching all of Governor Gavin Newsom live stream on our Facebook page. Well, stay with us. We'll be right back. It's another beautiful day out there, and our own Kevin Charette is enjoying the outdoors. Let's send it over to him. Kevin.
Well, Nicole, hopefully our signal will stay. I did venture outside. It's kind of like hot tub Friday because it's way too cold to get in the pool right now. But it is just beautiful out here. Blue skies. We're starting to warm things up. I've got my turtle habitat in the background. So you couldn't ask for a better day, and that's what this self-quarantine is all about, just enjoying the things that you have at your home. Let's talk about the weather forecast and what we're seeing. We're still in the 60s around the area, but we are going to be up on our way to the 70s as we progress into the afternoon. So that is a good thing for all of us. And you can see we just have a light wind out of the west-northwest at about 8 miles per hour. As we take a look at the almanac overnight, we were a little cool. You needed a jacket, that's for sure. 42 degrees. Our normal high today is 72 and the record of 90. As we take a look at our temperatures around the area, and you can see 60s in the valley and then 50s in the mountains. We were cool this morning in all areas, but no changes on that front for today into tomorrow. But look off to the west. We will be looking at some changes as we head into Sunday. Here's a look at the temperatures for today. 58 in Sacramento, 70 in Fresno, 69 down in LA, and a nice day in San Diego. And we are tracking a couple of storms out of the north. The first system will bring us rain Second system may bring us some mountain snow, and as we take a look at the Futurecast model, you can see as we put this into motion, a pretty good amount of rain is expected to push through the area. And this model goes through Thursday evening. How much rain are we going to get? Well, we could be looking at a half an inch in most valley locations, and then Frazier Park, you might be just under an inch, over a half an inch in the Tehachapi area, and 3/4 of an inch out near Lake Isabella, and near half an inch out in the desert. So all areas are going to see some rain. As we take a look at the snow forecast, this would be for the secondary system next week, and you can see it does want to bring in a little bit of snow. So we'll be watching that carefully to see if it's going to affect our passes or not. Here's a look at today, though. Sunny and pleasant, 70 in Bakersfield, 71 in Delano, Buttonwillow at 70 for the mountains in the Kern River Valley. A nice day ahead with temperatures right near 57 in Frazier Park, 56 in Tehachapi, 60s for the Kern River Valley, and then for the desert, we're looking sunny as well. A little bit breezy throughout the day, and 67 in Mojave. Your extended forecast, and there's that chance of rain Sunday through next Thursday. Temperatures will cool a little bit as well. As we take a look at the mountains, you can see that snow level by next Wednesday, Thursday drops near 4,000 feet. So that'll be the time frame that we will have to watch for. And then for the Kern River Valley, you can see tomorrow a nice day, mid-60s, and then we see the change coming in on Sunday. So if you are going to want to enjoy this beautiful weather, today is the day to do it, and also heading into tomorrow before that rain arrives. So Nicole, it is a beautiful day, and I'll tell you, I'm enjoying it in the comforts of my own home.
I was just going to say, Kevin, that I think you are enjoying your house just a little bit too much. Well, stay with us. We'll be right back with more.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. Well, U.S. unemployment dropped sharply in the month of March. The Labor Department says non-farm payrolls plummeted in March, down 701,000 from the prior month. This is the first loss of jobs since 2010. Analysts say this report shows the damage done as employers cut payrolls as social distancing policies started to take effect. The unemployment rate jumped 900 basis points from a low of 3.5% to 4.4%. And economists fear this is just the beginning. Mark Zandi, the chief economist at Moody's Analytics, believes a month from now we could see the loss of anywhere from 10 to 15 million jobs. Well, prior to the coronavirus pandemic, the unemployment rate had been at a 50-year low. And a big red flag signaling the economic toll locally from the COVID-19 pandemic. County officials notices today of impending layoffs. Levy Premium Food Service, which hires around 500 people at Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort in Emu County, Clinic Sierra Vista, and 3 Bill-Right auto dealerships. The layoffs at the ski resorts and dealerships are expected to be temporary according to their notices, but Clinica Sierra Vista is laying off staff in Fresno, Bakersfield, McFarland, and Arvin, and the clinic says it expects those layoffs to be permanent. The CEO of Clinica Sierra Vista says they're still offering testing for the virus and visits for other health issues, whether it's face-to-face or online. And a man was killed after he was hit by a train early yesterday morning in East Bakersfield. According to the Kern County Sheriff's Office, the incident happened at around 8:19 a.m. at Edison Highway, east of Morning Drive. The pedestrian who died at the scene was identified as 26-year-old Terrence Griffin. The case is still under investigation by the Union Pacific Railroad Police. And nurses are voicing their frustration over not being able to wear masks. This morning, nurses at Southwest Mercy Hospital stood outside protesting the lack of masks the hospital has. Nurses claim the hospital does not have enough masks for everyone, so only those in contact with infected patients get the protection they need.
Help us to protect our patients. Give us the masks that we need, please. We want to care for our patients. We want to protect our patients and ourselves. We need help to do that.
Dignity Health sent us a statement this morning saying they're following the guidance from the CDC when it comes to appropriate use of person protective equipment. The statement says in part, quote, "We are working with suppliers around the world to obtain additional safety supplies and await the arrival of these supplies soon." And a service member from Nas Lamore has tested positive for coronavirus. In a post on Facebook yesterday, personnel confirmed that the service member tested positive on April 1st. That service member, who supports the Fleet Readiness Center West, was isolated since March 25th and remains in quarantine at home. The Naval Air Station says, quote, "We are taking necessary precautions to keep everyone safe and informed, and we will continue to coordinate closely with our local commands and state and federal partners," end quote. Well, with so many nonprofits in dire need, Give Big Kern is helping out. Starting this Sunday, Give Big Kern is turning to online fundraising to help nonprofits throughout Kern County who are struggling financially. Give Big Kern connects donors with more than 130 participating nonprofits, especially those that could use volunteers right now, and those that can't will need people to get back in running once the shelter-in-place order is lifted. The official Give Big Kern Day of Giving is on the first Tuesday in May, this year falling on Cinco de Mayo. The Give Big Kern website will go live this Sunday and will remain open until May 6th. Well, Kern County Public Schools will be closed for the remainder of the academic school year, but learning will continue at home. 17's Amber Frias with more on e-learning efforts and how students are adjusting.
Schools may be closed, but learning continues online. School districts have worked hard to make sure students have what they need to continue their learning at home. But is it keeping them on track?
I have friends who are trying to keep up, but then they get behind.
Sometimes you have more questions that need to be answered.
Haley Riso and Mariah Adriano are seniors at Stockdale High School. The girls say they are finding at-home instruction hard to keep up with.
I'm taking an AP class, an honors class. I have ROC. So learning at home isn't as beneficial as learning at school because we don't have our teachers to kind of give us instruction and point things out.
The rush to bring education home amid the coronavirus pandemic is not like anything school districts have done before.
We've been really navigating through some uncharted waters in recent weeks. In fact, in my time, I'm 57. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
Within weeks, school districts have put together lesson packets and online programs for students to learn from home. As expected, basic technical issues have emerged.
In our estimates, we felt that about 40% of the districts either had a connectivity issue or lacked a device.
In response, the superintendent of schools has worked closely with school districts to make sure those students get what they need. This week, school buses equipped with Wi-Fi were parked in neighborhoods across our county. Wi-Fi was also made available in parking lots of all public school libraries and county buildings, and Chromebooks were distributed to students who didn't have a device at home. But amid all this, how is the actual learning going?
It's very difficult for us to assess that at this time. I'm going to be honest with you, there's no way that all students are accelerating or moving at the same pace. And for us to assess that, we would have to have a more robust online learning platform that all students are using at this time. We don't. It's uneven. Some students are using still paper packets.
Barlow says grading and evaluation of progress is still not something in place across the county due to the fact that every district is using different programs to connect with their students, and there is still students without connectivity.
If they're not connecting, if they're not turning on their video or their phone or connecting with their peers, it's much more difficult for us to, number one, assess where they are, and number two, deliver what they need.
Mary Barlow says students and parents can expect information on grades and graduation in the coming weeks. Amber Frias, 17 News.
And Wonderful College Prep Academy is helping their employees by handing out thousands of food baskets. This week, the Prep Academy announced that they are providing employees with a family basket each week, including essential items like paper goods, dry goods, fresh produce, and other tough items to find. Yesterday, over 5,600 baskets were given out to employees and their families.
We're an essential business, and so we continue to operate. And our employees don't have the time to go to the grocery stores because they're work producing the food that's feeding the world.
And the schools want to make sure no one in your family goes hungry. They are offering family grab-and-go meal packs for all family members of Academy employees 2 days a week. Well, stay with us. 17 News is right back. And the coronavirus pandemic continues to change parts of everyday life. Abigail Handke has tips for handling stress.
And being stressed is normal right now.
Everyone's day-to-day routines look a little different. As students don't go to school, homes become offices, and bars close up shop. It can stir up a range of emotions.
As much normalcy, I think, as we can for adults as well as kids, I think is going to be really important right now.
Lois Mishler with Family Services says it's okay to feel stressed right now, but how we manage it is important.
If we remember the intent behind the change, that helps give us focus.
Mishler says if this is taking over your life and impacting your relationships with your friends, family, or kids, there are people to reach out to, whether it's a phone call or a walk with a neighbor 6 feet apart.
In social distancing, we can still find support.
And when anxiety does start to overwhelm you, remember this.
What advice do you give to parents who may be feeling anxiety and then their kids are picking up on it?
I think, being self-aware that you are anxious and watching your words around kids, but they know their lives are different as well. So it's finding ways, I think, to talk about what's going on.
Mishler says practice breathing.
Breathing in, holding it, breathing out, holding it, breathing in, each by the count of 4.
Download a mental health app, go for a run or walk, and limit screen time.
Be informed, but don't be overwhelmed.
She adds it's critical to remember that during a time of stress like this, not to indulge in bad habits like overeating or drinking too much.
Just pause. Just pause and center. And, I think we're all going to learn things about ourselves that we didn't know before.
Well, here at 17 News, we want you to know that while working from home can be a challenge, there are things you can do to keep your sanity, what we have found to be successful and maybe not so successful. Stay with us.
Sunrise Interviews is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
Welcome back. Well, while you are spending most of your time at home, it could be a great time to catch up on some newly released movies now streaming. Well, joining us this morning to tell us more was entertainment critic Rick Bentley about his top choices.
The first thing I want to recommend is a new series on Apple TV+. It's a show called Home Before Dark. Now, it's a series that's based on the true story of a 9-year-old in Pennsylvania who became an investigative reporter. It stars Jim Sturgis. I really like this show, and what's interesting about it is Apple TV Plus normally drops their series one at a time, so it takes you a while to get to see them all. But they're trying to experiment, and they're going to drop all 10 today. And so if you're looking for something to binge watch this weekend, I recommend this highly. Again, it's based on a true story. Also, there's a series that's on Amazon Prime called The Boys. Now, I know superhero TV shows and movies are really popular, so I like to recommend this one because it's really kind of an offbeat series about superheroes. It's about what happens if we had superheroes in the world, but corporate America ran them and they abused their powers. It stars Jack Quaid and Carl Urban. I highly, highly recommend this series. And then the other one on the streaming service I want to recommend is the Netflix series Insatiable. I know I've talked about this show already, but I want to push it one more time. It stars Debbie Ryan of the Disney Channel series Jessie and Christopher Gorham, a young man I used to write about when I lived in Fresno. It's one of my guilty pleasure movies is the 1999 release Drop Dead Gorgeous with Kirsten Dunst. So it's like that movie and Desperate Housewives had a baby. I'm telling you, this is an excellent, excellent series. There are 2 seasons already up on Netflix, so that's 20 hours of TV watching if you're really looking to spend the entire weekend in front of the TV set.
Quite a bit of time.
And the other thing is, if you don't have a streaming service, if you haven't subscribed, this Saturday, the USA Network is going to do a marathon of Modern Family. Now, that show's coming to an end this month, so if you want to get caught up on it, I suggest you take a look at that.
All right, Rick Bentley. So, really quick though, one thing that we should watch, maybe a series, even if it's not new. What is one series you would recommend we start today?
Oh, I'm still going with Sensational. But the other thing I want to recommend is that if you're looking for a movie, the Star Wars movie, the last in the franchise, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has now become available. So you can either get it on DVD or Blu-ray or the streaming services.
All right.
It's not my favorite movie in the series, but again, if you're a fan of the Star Wars series, it's a good show that you can get caught up with.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at noon.